Hey everyone, welcome back to Poprageous. I am Danny Alex. So for Star Wars fans, there's been some comments. Shawn Levy has made some comments about his interactions with Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm in making the movie. Now, anyone who knows who's been anywhere close in the proximity of Star Wars since Disney has taken over knows and understands this is a franchise that has gone through significant decay, character decay, plot decay, continuity decay, quality of story decay, which is probably where most of fandom decay. I mean, this is probably was the largest global franchise that has gone through massive active decay and huge disappointment. But Shawn Levy has made some comments. Here we go. Shawn Levy revealed how Lucasfilm, the headline, Shawn Levy says no studio interference from Lucasfilm Star Wars Starfighter is entirely original, my friends. Entirely original. Let's get into what they say. Shawn Levy revealed how Lucasfilm dealt with him while making his new Star Wars movies in a recent interview. And I find this quite interesting. And there's a few points that I make on both sides of the fence in terms of what this means. The director of Deadpool and Wolverine and currently filming Star Wars Starfighter appeared in the podcast The Business to talk about his various projects, and he was asked about the pressure he felt in developing his Star Wars film. He said that Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy reached out to him and asked him to direct a Star Wars movie. Now, it's probably not a bad idea. You know, most people are graded based on their, most recent performance in Deadpool and Wolverine. You can see how the story in Deadpool and Wolverine and sort of the visuals and everything might work well in a Star Wars movie. I can see it. Guy's got some talent. When he asked what it would be and to which existing Star Wars movies it would be connected, Kennedy told him it's whatever you want it to be. Now, that's pretty huge, because what that says is, look, we probably don't like where most of our Star Wars franchise is. Everything that they have, what she's basically saying, everything that we have right now is a dead end. And we don't want to continue it. We want a brand new start. We want fresh ideas. That's what that tells me. And it's a pretty big admission on the part of Kathleen Kennedy and Star Wars. And it probably is you can imagine some of the conversations that happened between upper management at Disney for things to get to this place. It's whatever you want it to be, specifying that he could choose what story he wanted to tell, and even the film's writer, and imbue it with the feeling that his movies have. So basically, that's exactly what she's doing, right? She is going to that feeling that I would say Deadpool and Wolverine, with the goal of making an entirely original Star Wars movie. Now that's pretty huge, right? That is a studio coming out and say, look, everything we have right now, I could care less about it. Coming off the heels of The Acolyte. You got to think, if you were the studio head and you were coming off the heels of The Acolyte and probably seeing the dailies of Ahsoka too, you're probably going, oh my God, someone help me. Right? And probably the better idea is when you take someone who does have a track record. Levy probably, they're saying, surprise us, help us, save us. Levy said that that as he began making Star Wars Starfighter, the only mandate or interference he got from Lucasfilm was constant encouragement to make this new. Basically what they say, we don't care about our old content. We don't care. Give us something new. Give us something fresh. We don't want to continue any of these stories. He compared Starfighter to Solo, a Star Wars story, and The Rise of Skywalker. That's all of a sudden The Rise of Palpatine, saying that it's not a prequel or sequel like those films, but all new characters based on new ideas that Jonathan Tropper and he cooked up alone and together. Now, as a screenwriter, I tell you, man, that would be a lot of nights and together, coming up with some amazing story ideas. I mean, if they're saying you got a clean slate, give us a new Star Wars universe. That's basically what Lucasfilm is saying with what comments we've heard from Kathleen Kennedy. To that end, Starfighter is set in a time period that's never been in a Star Wars movie and is not about the legacy characters, though his goal, and I think this is important, his goal is to make sure it has the sense of joy and adventure that A New Hope had. It's going back to the original lore, right? I mean, that is Star Wars. The first two movies, Return of the Jedi and New Hope, that is Star Wars. If you ask me, that is Star Wars. Levy reiterated that Lucasfilm's only notes were to make it new, with no guardrails. That's what I find crazy. No guardrails. So when you talk about continuity of lore, most often it was like when Ryan Reynolds went to go make the first Deadpool. I mean, he was given a very small part of the universe. Can't use this, you can't use this, they can't use this. Because they wanted to protect all these, and they didn't know what he was going to do. In the second movie, he had more gravitas to use more characters. And of course, in the third one, Deadpool and Wolverine, I think there's nothing that was out of bounds that he used. He used a lot of stuff. But anyway, that's and what this is saying, Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm, are they at wit's end? Everything that we've created, we don't care about. Can we please give us something new? That Make It New directive extended to legacy characters from previous Star Wars films, as Levy revealed that when he asked whether he should use an established character, Lucasfilm told him, you know what? People have seen that. Do something new. He says the freedom he's had from studio interference on Starfighter is equal to any other movie he's made, even original films, calling the experience liberating. I mean, I think it gives Star Wars fans who have basically been alienated by the franchise a new hope, if I can I say that? Can I say it gives it a new hope? Levy's comments contradict rumors, which were more assumptions based on rumors than anything else, that Star Wars Starfighter would end with Ryan Gosling's hero delivering a Force-sensitive child to Daisy Ridley's Rey to train as a Jedi, which would lead into the Rey Solo film that has stalled multiple times. And dear, please, Shawn, do it for the fandom. Don't wrap this baby up with Rey. Don't. I don't think that's. In fact, even the rumor that spawned this theory that Starfighter would be the beginning of a new trilogy that would feature a big cameo at the end doesn't fit with Levy's account. Hey, you know what? Undoubtedly, I would think that what he's creating is not something that's going to be built in isolation. The idea of it, I have no doubt that the storytelling is going to leave things with a lot of tangents that you can go and build these stories up. He's basically given the mandate to create an entirely new Star Wars universe. Probably using the general lore, the rules of the universe and all those things. But he's got a lot of leeway in how he can apply this in his storytelling. He sounds like he has all the lead. They trust this guy 100%. It also calls back to a story from Den of Nerds that claimed Disney CEO Bob Iger was the source of Star Wars trouble, and Kathleen Kennedy was the voice of reason trying to save the franchise. Now, I've always said, when I hear Bob Iger talking about story, you're basically a weatherman. Having worked on Wall Street before, I don't think that his tenure is going to be looked at as anything. He bought a couple of franchises that he drove into the ground. Century 21 and Fox, did he overpay? $40 billion? There's a lot of debt on the books. Probably looks like he overpaid. He's a weatherman talking about story. When you talk about story, you better have a lot more experience in the science of story writing as a screenwriter. There's nothing easy about it. And the last thing you need is the big boss telling you how to write your story. So they better be sincere when they tell Shawn Levy that, do what you want, bro. Just do what you want. Please save us. That's what I hear. Save us. We got shit. We got nothing. Her interactions with Shawn Levy sound closer to that than someone trying to force her vision on filmmakers. However, her attitude towards Star Wars Starfighter could also be the result of the Star Wars decline and the necessity to do something different and see if it works. We'll know more when Star Wars Starfighter is released on May 28th, 2027. The biggest takeaway I see from that, guys, I see a white towel, the towel thrown in from Lucasfilm. And that towel should have been thrown in a long time ago. It should have been thrown in before the Ahsoka series hit the air. It probably should have been. Well, you could argue when that towel should have been thrown in. But guys, if this is true, if Shawn Levy is going to get this wide spectrum to be able to create something from scratch, and if what he's saying, he's going to go back to A New Hope and take the lore, the tone, the whole atmosphere of the original, guys, this might be something good. It might be something good. Casting seems pretty sound. A lot of things seem pretty sound, but we won't know until May 28th, 2027. So we'll see, guys. Hit that subscribe button. Come back and see more. I am Danny Alex, and you are listening to Poprageous.